Stupid. What about this guy? Is this not this should be a microphone. Whatever. I guess for the time being, we'll just run back into what's going on, guys. I've spent 3 minutes just silently rambling at the camera. I don't know if I can edit this later or something to cut that crap out. But okay, cool. Let's just kind of get into it. Let's just jump into it. That's what Philly D says. All right, cool. I'm gonna start back from the top. So what I'm trying to do here is I've turned down a handful of mentees, and last night something kind of happened. The right person hit me up at like the right moment in time. I was out to a meeting with a really successful guy who's like a friend of Agora Financial, and he's someone that you would want to be like. So we're out having drinks, and I was kind of explaining like what I'm trying to do is like I'm trying to master copywriting, and on the side I'm also doing this thing where I'm like basically just doing it on camera. I'm just doing what I usually do on camera so that I can kind of keep myself regular with my work, make sure I stay on top of what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm accountable to you guys, so that kind of keeps me honest. And then he kind of explained the different ways that you can learn something. One is like the thing is James Webb Young or something like that. That guy, a technique for producing ideas is where you overload your brain with information. You just pile it all in, and then you just kind of like go do something else, and then like it kind of processes subconsciously is one way to learn stuff and connect dots. He said the other way was to teach something. He said he launched a course, and for 30 days he wanted to master this topic. So he launched like a 30-day course where he was teaching people all over the world about this subject that he wanted to learn. So he said by the time he was done, he was like a master, right? He had it all figured out. He said, but he was destroyed because he had to be on call like 24 hours because he was helping people in the United States and other countries and different time zones. So, but at the moment he was telling me this story, I get a Facebook message. Someone's like, hey man, do mentoring? And I have like an automatic response to this. Like, nope, I don't have time. I don't want it to take away from every time I'm talking to someone else or helping them with their copy, I'm not developing my own copy or reading a new promo or doing what I need to do to generate my income. But it was in that moment where I had a different perspective. So this guy hits me up, and I'm like, actually, I'm going to review your copy. Like, yeah, let me just do it. I'm gonna start reviewing copy. I'm gonna go the other route. Instead of shutting it off and trying to work real hard, I'm gonna try to actually open up the doors a little bit and let folks try to teach folks so that I can master copy myself. So this is a little bit selfish. It also helps you guys get some insight into like I can only talk about financial copy really. So what I'm going to be doing here is breaking down like subscriber copy, viewer copy, and it's not going to be copy editing, right? It's not going to be line by line. Oh, by the way, if you're interested in having your copy reviewed, there should be a link in the description box. It's kylethewriter.com/submit copy. I'm going to post that in the comments there. But yeah, you can get your copy reviewed there. Just submit your copy and I'll review it. The rules are all on that page. But yeah, so I'm not going to be like hardcore rewriting anybody's copy. That's not my role. I'm just going to kind of guide you in areas where I think copy's weak. Could be more proof. You lose my attention. Do something a little more unique. So that's what we're kind of going to do here. A little bit different approach. I'm not going to have the pen. I'm going to kind of just make notes in a Google Doc here. So that's kind of how it's going to start. And we'll take it from there. Let me know if you think this is helpful or if you think it sucks. If you want to have your stuff reviewed, check out the link, kylethewriter.com/submit-copy. All right, so let's kind of dive into this. I think what I'll do, we got about around 3 pages of copy, right? So I'll just read through this, and I'm going to make notes. And you can ask questions, anything like that. If you see something that I overlooked or I said something stupid, call me out. I'm just a dude, right? I've only written financial copy anyway, so I might have no idea what I'm talking about. All right, so here we go. Just like we do on the other promos. When it comes to selling, many people are lost. They think they need to know everything there is to know about sales before they take action. And that's not only not true, but it is also why they do not get the results that they want. Perhaps that's you, perhaps that's somebody you know. They go into a sales situation, and what ends up happening is they have no idea what they're doing. Sure, sometimes they will sell when the prospect is already ready to buy, but that isn't nearly as often enough as anyone would like. Now there are steps to take in order to get you up to par with your skills. You can read all the books, go to all the courses, watch all the videos and trainings, but that would be a little bit overkill, wouldn't you say? But there is an alternative. Instead of spending countless hours, countless thousands of hours, constantly beating yourself up over not being good enough, not knowing enough, you can get in Pete's Mastermind, the Lucid Selling Mastermind. Okay, so this is our lead, right? If this was a sales letter, that's like the whole lead right there. I have one overarching comment right out of the gate. It's too vague. It almost tries to, and I can point it out in different areas of the copy. Shit, now I wish I'd use my pen in the PDF format. But yeah, let's do this. Let's say this guy, okay? Many people are lost. They think. Now, you'll start to see it. Like, this is like seeing the Matrix. Once I start putting highlights on it, you're like, oh, wow. It's not only true, it's also why they not get the results that they want. Perhaps that's you. Perhaps that's somebody you know. They go into a sales situation. What ends up happening, they have no idea what they're doing. But that isn't nearly as often as anyone would like. Now there are steps in order to get you up to par with your skills. So basically, I don't give a shit about any of this stuff. And I mean that in like the nicest way. So I don't care about many people. I don't care what they think. I don't care if they get their results. I don't care about somebody I know. Like, I don't want them to like get hit by a bus. That'd be terrible. But really, I'm not looking through advertisements for them. I don't care if they go into a sales situation. I don't care if they know what they're doing. You see what I'm saying here? Anyone would like? I don't care what anyone likes. I actually don't like most people. I care what I like. So not really knowing what the target audience is for this specifically. This is obviously going to be a sales course. I think I have notes over here. That offers all things covered sales coaching membership program. Okay, cool. That's actually good information. So if you submit copy to me, let me know what the program is for. All right, cool. So let's think this. All things covered sales coaching membership program. Okay, cool. So when we have an all things covered sales membership program, let's think about when I break down system promos. The things that are really important to people, there's 4 things. It's going to be that it's easy. I wish I had my pen now. Why didn't I use the pen? I'm going to make notes over here. So the 4 things are the easy, new, safe, and I think it was big. So it's got to be super easy. Anyone can do it. It's got to be brand new. Focus, camera, focus. Come on, man. You're embarrassing me, camera. Okay, cool. It's got to be brand new, revolutionary. It's got to be safe, like I can't fail. It's got to be foolproof, okay? And then big means it's like a game changer. It's going to get you big money fast, okay? So before we get to all of this whole point, the whole part of any beginning of copy needs to address these things. So when it comes to selling, many people are lost. Think they need to know everything there is to know before they take action. And I feel like what you're doing here is you're explaining the problem, trying to like basically say, I know the problem better than you, so I'm the authority on solving it. It's kind of like what seems to be, because you're like delving into like a situation here. So let's think of how you could better do this. Easy, new, safe, and big. You could even keep that first line. When it comes to selling, many people are lost. But, okay, so this is right away. I can say, but you don't need to know everything there is to know about sales to double your sales. Boom. So I made a promise right away. I told them, hey, man, most people are lost, but the truth is you don't need to know everything. All right? Then I would move this stuff. Where was it? I can move all this stuff up. So you could say, so what you could say is, when it comes to selling, most people are lost. Everyone thinks they need to know everything, but the truth is, you can actually double your sales with one simple trick. Magic bullet. People love magic bullets. You got to have a magic bullet. You're presenting your course as the magic bullet, but nobody wants to buy your newsletter is basically the thing. So if you can create some sort of like the trick, the gimmick, the magic bullet, man, and a promise, and make it automatic, okay? So people are lost. They think they need to know everything about sales, but the truth is you only need this one trick to double your sales in 2 weeks. Now you have my attention. Whether you're a car salesman, an internet marketer, God, my camera sucks. Look, y'all need to send me a bunch of money so I can buy better cameras. This is embarrassing. Focus, camera. I'm the only thing to see. Anyway, so yeah, now you can do the whole anybody can do it is safe. So safe and easy kind of goes into, so next thing you can do is you can double your sales with one little method that very few people know about in 2 weeks. Whether you're a car salesman or an internet marketer or a book salesman, a librarian, anything like that, you can do. You can use this one method to fix all your problems. No more reading books. No more going through courses, and don't say so. No more spending. Like, let's say, no more. Here, let's do this. Edit to say, no more spending hours pouring through books. No more spending thousands on complicated courses that don't even work. What up, Alex? And watching all the videos and trainings. And you got to do rules of 3 here, right? So, no more trying to dissect what the pros are doing. And we'll put pros in, parentheses, because who are these guys? They're hacks anyway. So boom. So, yeah. So do you see the difference there though, where instead of saying like just get to what can instantly fix my problem. That's what everyone wants to hear, right? Okay, cool. So I do that in like 2 sentences. So I just took all this and basically turned it into 3 sentences. And that's why in copy there's like no lines wasted, right? You got to get to the point and you got to grip them. So once I say that, you probably got to give some like sort of proof. Let me read the rest of the copy and see what else we got. Okay, so there is an alternative. Instead of spending countless thousands of hours constantly beating yourself up over not being good enough, not knowing enough, you can get in the Pete's Mastermind, Lucid Selling Mastermind. Okay, and then you introduce the price. If this was a sales letter for a newsletter, this would be here. That's where that would be, and the price would be here. So I can just tell structurally that's not how I would do it. I would put the focus, I put the emphasis on the solution, the magic bullet. I have the cure-all. So start there. And now what we want to do is prove that our cure-all is real. So you can say, Forbes says, Steve Jobs did this. Like, say, let me read the copy real quick. So $47 a month. If that is a deal, I have no idea what it is. I think that's supposed to say if that's not a deal. Because in the Mastermind, we cover approach techniques so that whenever you want to approach a person and make friends with them, you always know what to do. Relationship building, so you can follow up your approach, not only with trust building, but also with the opportunity to create long-lasting bonds which will fuel your business. Closing methods, which take the guesswork out of the entire sales process. Okay, so take this whole bullet. This is a great opportunity to talk about bullets. Bullets should almost always leave you scratching your head. You should always, I won't say almost because there's probably no absolutes, but you should almost always be left thinking how. So what you would say for this one, you got approach techniques, relationship building, closing methods. It looks like 3, right? So what you could say is approach techniques, make friends, always know what to do, also opportunity, long-lasting bonds, take the guesswork out of the entire sales process. So for this bullet would say the 3-step system that automatically makes you more likable and takes all the guesswork out of the sales process. That's this bullet. That's what this bullet says. Don't tell me approach techniques. That sounds hard. I don't like approaching. It gives me anxiety. Relationship building. I told you already. I don't even like people. The fuck? Closing methods. Closing makes me feel like a sleazy salesman. No, it's the 3-step process so that you are automatically likable, which is what everyone wants. It takes the entire guesswork out of closing sales. So you don't have to worry or think or do anything. It just, the system does the work for you. You see there? Take all the pressure off of the reader. All right. And you might think this is enough, but you'd be wrong because we also go into the very fundamentals of what makes a sale possible. I mean, so as far as evaluating if one way is better than the other, you can kind of say that statistically. So the comment says the reasoning was public Facebook group flooded with value-based content. Pretty much everyone knew what was happening. Straight old school sales, and I see it was not the best way to go about this though. So that's debatable, right? You can test my ideas, and then maybe we'll know. But I really try to shy away from saying one way is better than the other until I see the numbers, right? So here's just a different approach. This might work for you. I feel like some of these techniques are timeless and they just work. But yeah, I think editing that bullet would be a good start. You might think that's enough. You'd be wrong. Don't ever tell them they're wrong. So don't ever tell them they're wrong, and don't ever tell them what to do. Like, you can say, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. But still, I could take all those bullets and make it into one bullet. I see that you said they all came together and they shouldn't have come together. I'll break it up. I'll break it up here too. But so one of these things here where you say don't ever tell them that they're wrong. What you can do is, like, for instance, I wrote once something like, trust me when I say you'll regret missing this. Or I said something that was a little more aggressive, and my copy chief tweaked it where he just said, you don't want to miss this, right? So it's like there's a little bit of like aggressiveness or something like that, but saying you're wrong, I guess I would just try to avoid it. Like anything that might be like something like this. You might say you'd be surprised, or we'll blow you away. You might think this is enough, but you're about to have your mind blown. Like something like that. Like, oh, I'm about to have my mind blown. How? And even if you're a cynic, I'm gonna have my mind blown. Yeah, right. Let's see what you got, and then you're gonna read just to see if it's really worthwhile. So, how about that? Let's just say something like, prepare to have your mind blown. All right, and it almost sounds gimmicky. It kind of sounds silly when you say it out loud and you start typing it, but when it's on the page, man, like, this is the kind of stuff you have to write. It's got to be a little bit out there. It's got to be a little bit like, pow, like it's got to feel big. It's got to feel big, or don't write it. Okay, going to very fundamentals of what makes it possible. Okay, so I see this is where the bullets got jammed up, huh? Okay, let's go ahead and read through these. Active listening and how to use the information they give you in order to logically lead them to the sale while emotionally driving them to take action. The exact question to ask in order to find out what drives them in life. Persuasion and influence techniques that not only allow you to take control of how you impact and influence of people, but are also scalable, allowing you to not only sell people, but build a raving following. Okay, why you should avoid trying to sell everybody, how to overcome the biggest pitfalls salespeople encounter, what the correct mindset for cold calling in sales meetings is, and how to put yourself in it quickly, easily, without feeling like a fraud, how to build your memory, expand it, and always remember the specifics and details that you need to know when a prospect asks you a question. Okay, so we've got a little bit of work here, right? This, again, I think a couple of things I want to remember when I start to write something, that if it sounds like there's work involved, I'm not going to put it in the copy. That's one thing. The other thing is come back to that rule about, does it make me scratch my head and go, how the hell did they do that? So let's start with, I'm going to kind of try to pick apart some of the bullets, and then I'm going to give you like some overall, like some kind of tips, I guess, something you can use. So active listening and how to use the information they give you in order to logically lead them to the sale while emotionally driving them to take action. Okay, so this is very sophisticated. And again, this is kind of why I'm a little nervous to do this, to even critique other people's copy, because I don't know your target audience and I don't know exactly what does work for you and what doesn't, but here's the way I would approach it. We don't want to do active listening. How to use the information they give you in order to logically. How to trick them into selling themselves by using silence. Something like that. Like, I'm actively listening, I'm not talking, right? So the listening is the silence, okay? So I'm tricking them into selling themselves. That use the information they give you, which is, they just give me the information and I logically lead them to the sale. Make that sound mysterious. How to trick them into selling themselves, or I'll just rewrite it down here. How to the secret trick to get your prospect to convince themselves to buy your product. Silence is the answer, right? Silence is the secret trick. Something like that, That's just one bullet. But both of those kind of leave you wondering, what's the secret trick? How to trick them into selling? How do I do it? This gives it away in the first two words. Active listening. Well, I know what active listening is. I can categorize active listening and file it away, and seeing that, don't need it. I don't need to pay money to learn what active listening is. I know what it is. So whatever you write, they can never understand what you're talking about. It's basically the gist. Like, they have to be left wondering, intrigued, guessing the whole time. Like, what is the trick? So the exact questions to ask in order to find out what drives them in life. Okay. So the exact questions to ask, I like that because you've taken all the guesswork out in order to find out what drives them in life. Now we have to connect that sort of to a benefit, right? Because there's no benefit inherent in knowing what drives them in life. Obviously, it's to make a sale, right? To relate to them. Okay, here we go. We'll call it declassified, because that just sounds cool. Declassified rapport building questions that immediately connect you to your prospect's deepest desires, which sounds a little sexual. But yeah, so now we have rapport building in there, right? So that seems like something a little more useful. But anyway, just follow this whole idea of like, it has to be weird, man. It has to be weird every time. The trick. Declassified, like, it's got to be like a special thing, like this has never been seen or done before, right? So do that throughout here. Why you should avoid trying to sell everybody. Again, let's say, actually, I need to come up to this one right above it. This one's just too long. This is like 4 sentences. And persuasion and influence techniques that not only allow you to take control of how you impact and influence people. Okay, so that just says techniques to influence people, right? And copywriting, we don't put a policeman in an automobile. We put a cop in a car, all right? So this can just be said. Effective persuasion. Could be like 2 words. Also scalable, allowing you to not only sell people. So we got 2 not onlys in 1 sentence, but also build a raving following. Okay, so we could say killer persuasion tactics. All right, so that just summed up everything. That turn prospects into raving advocates. Boom, that's that whole bullet. Like, done. All right. Oh, I said I wasn't going to do copy editing. I said I wasn't going to go line by line, but this is actually kind of fun. I like going through this. All right, so how to overcome biggest pitfalls. Okay, so biggest pitfalls, there is a style of bullet for this. Something like that, right? The one mistake most salespeople make that costs them blah, 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 blah. It's not falling for it, dude. We're not tricking them into buying it. We're just not giving away the whatever the expression is. We're just not giving it all away. There's no trickery here. There's no deceit. Like, this is all right. So think about copywriters. If you've ever bought like a copywriting course or a copywriting book, or like, I'm pretty sure I just attended Copy Chief Live, right? It's all the same, man. Like, they want your solution. All right, just tell them you have the solution. Like, you'll see it, because like the master copywriters, they don't change the way they sell because they're talking to other copywriters who want to learn how to copyright, right? So it works is like, just like those. It's the reason it works is because it works. I'm not pulling. The thing fall for this assumes that people are logical. There is unequivocally like 100% information to support that humans are so illogical, especially when it comes to their buying decisions here. So I mean, see the audience in Nah. I mean, you're giving them what they want, man. Like, they want hope. They want this thing that they want killer persuasion tactics that turn prospects into raving advocates. Like, that's what people want. So, and you're offering that. You're just not giving it away in the copy. Like, that's the thing. We don't give anything away in the copy. The reason, if I write an email, if you read all the way to the bottom, is because I try, when I have the time to go back and edit and make sure I don't mess it up. Like, when I write an email to my list, ooh, by the way, if you haven't subscribed for my list, there's a link. It's I do daily emails. I think I missed one this week or last week. But yeah, you also get access to my swipe file. Maybe I should start adding these things to my swipe file. But a more direct approach and killer offer. But yeah, so you can get my swipe file there, sign up for my daily emails. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you're here watching this, getting some value, hit that like button, man. Hit subscribe and like. Appreciate it. Okay. So what you mean a more direct approach and killer offer, like for how to get around them falling for it? Well, I don't know. I think this is the kind of stuff that works, you know. All right, moving on. We're not done yet. Okay, cool. How to build your minimum expanded. So we've kind of figured out already like the overall message for the bullets, man. Try to get them scratching their head, like how. All right, so here's a couple suggestions for you there. And I think what I will do is put this Google Doc in the swipe file that I give all my email subscribers so that they can also refer to this, which will also encourage me to do a better job so you guys can refer to it and appreciate it and use it and stuff. All right, and much, much more. I like that line. But we're not done yet. I like that line too. On top of that, you'll get... Okay, cool. So, this is like it's a bit of a false break, I guess I'd call it, which is a word I just made up. It's not like a real thing. So we say much, much more, but on top of that you get, and this looks like it's a different variety of bullet. Weekly trainings over Zoom, that sounds cool, to not only elaborate the material in the mastermind, but also to help you find the best way to sell in alignment with your personality, your values, and your goals. Regular podcast episodes on both sales and topics related to sales, including in-depth interviews with experts. Okay, cool. But wait, that's not everything yet. Okay. So in the false break thing that I wrote here, it kind of feels like we listed some bullets. But there's more, right? Bullets. Okay. So at the end of the day, you're speaking to a human. And when I see a wall of bullets like this too, when I see a wall of bullets like this, I'm going to be tempted to stop or at least scan. All right, so this, what you can do is in between here, maybe you can maybe insert some authority or proof of some type before moving right into other bullets. All right, cool. So there's that. I like this. This seems like something that should go right towards the end. We are kind of close to the end here. On top of that, you'll get this stuff, which is good value-driven stuff. But wait, that's not everything yet. Okay, more. The most important, valuable thing that you can get out of the Mastermind is the accountability, check-ins, and discussions. If there is not one thing, I want to point this out. So in the context that the word not has been used in this sales letter, it's added to the complication of the letter itself. Every time you drop not, it kind of has me saying more words or thinking more. If there's not one thing that you will use the site from this, you will get more than your money is worth regardless. This can, okay, so here. I mean, you can just say what you're trying to say, right? I feel like you're not trying to say what you're trying to say. This is a very indirect way to say something like this. One thing makes the whole package worthwhile. Just say it. Put a cop in a car, baby. We are not looking for people who will just sit in the group and not take action. Okay, so we got some qualification. Pete's idea for the group is not to be a library. It is to act as a training medium. Okay, and you cannot train if you not take action in the practice of those skills. But if you are committed to taking a few steps to learn sales, to build your income, to dominate your peers, acquaintances, ooh. Dominate peers, acquaintances, colleagues, business partners, and competition in your field, you cannot afford to not get in the Mastermind. Okay, so I'm going to just say not there. Just say you can't afford to miss this. As I said, price is now £47 a month. March 1, it goes up to £97 a month. Some urgency. It's a 100% increase in price. At either of those prices, it is a steal. But wait, I didn't mention, but wait, more. I didn't mention all the other goodies that you get along with that, including cold call scripts, methods of negotiating, goal setting templates, worksheets, how to use LinkedIn, prospect profitably. Specifics. I feel like this would be more powerful with some specifics. 7 infallible cold call scripts. 3 master methods of negotiation. Goal setting templates. 6 millionaire goal buster hot sheets, something like that. Worksheets. That sounds appealing. How to use LinkedIn to prospect profitably. That's got some value to it, right? And much, much more. Okay, seriously, what are you waiting for? You only have about 36 hours to make up your mind. Get in. 36 hours. Did I miss that? Is that because like the date March 1 is supposed to be 36 hours away or something? What happens in that? I don't believe this. Message Pete now to secure your membership for life. Seriously, get in now. Take advantage of all the current and future developments at that low, low price. You're effectively cutting your investment in half compared to people who join after March 1st. Okay, cool, cool. Hey man, there's no shame. You made some sales, right? Okay, so I guess. Okay, so I guess this is a control. It's made sales. It's been used or reused hindsight is always 20/20 though. Like whenever someone else looks at your copy, which is why it's so beneficial to have a team. And that's like one of the benefits of being an in-house copywriter is I always have like a person around me to review my copy. So it's kind of like a little bit of a cheat code. Um, okay, cool. I mean, well, maybe this will boost conversions. Cool. So I mean, that's another thing I want to encourage people. Like I wrote this email, and I don't know if I think you just joined the email list. And I just wrote this email. It's at the top. I wrote the Man in the Arena speech by Theodore Roosevelt. And the first line is, and just Google this speech, The Man in the Arena. And the first line is about, it's not the critic that counts, it's about the man in the arena. Let's see. Let me just read this shit to you. It's so powerful to me. Okay, here we go. Bear with me, people who don't want me to read this or care. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. That's like a super elaborate way to say, don't be afraid to submit your copy for review. Like, you're writing copy. There are so many tryhards and entrepreneurs who are giving advice on Facebook groups who have never written a piece of copy, who would never send their copy in to me, and who would definitely never allow it to go onto a YouTube channel. So yeah, there's no shame in improving the copy or having it critiqued or anything like that. So you're doing better than, like, you've got sales to your name. You're destroying like most of the internet. All right, cool. So that's kind of all I've got for this. I hope this was helpful. If you're still here or if you're new, make sure you hit subscribe. You can submit your stuff to me at the link, kylewriter.com/submit-copy. I think I should maybe change that to something else, something shorter. And now I'm going to confuse everybody who tries to use that link if I change it. But yeah, here's the link. You can submit copy to me here and get all the rules and all the details there. If you're not on the daily email list, you should be on the daily email list. There's the link to that so that you can. Hey man, I'm glad it was helpful for you. Oh, I didn't. I do have one thing. I have one favor I'd ask of you. Share it. I didn't ask earlier. Share the video or share the channel or something like that. Like that'd be great. Yeah. So I don't have anything else. I don't think. I will try to figure out a way